Hi, this is Conrad Zimmerman with FistShark Marketing, here to point out once again that this show exists thanks to the support of its listeners. For less than the price of tickets to a Nickelback show, you could maybe develop some taste? Or at least some dignity. Seriously, you were gonna buy Nickelback tickets? What's wrong with you? Visit patreon.com/FistShark or click the big Patreon button at fistshark.com to help us out with a small monthly contribution instead. And thanks for listening.
Guys, I don't want to sound like a whiner or a Debbie Downer, but we've been working on this project for kind of a while now, and
which project is this?
Project Stardeth.
We've been working on this for kind of a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us have years invested into this project.
Project Stardeth has been running for, well, I want to say since 2003? Maybe 2004?
That sounds about right. It's been at least 10, and I'm sure we're getting close to the 15-year mark.
Yeah, and well, by this time we should have been getting ready to finish it, but obviously a spanner's been thrown in the works. But sorry, Paulson. Actually, do you mind if I call you Paul? I know a Paulson and he's a nerf herder. What's your problem with Project Stardeth?
Well, problem's probably too strong of a word. I didn't mean to come off, again, I'm sorry if I sounded negative, but I'm just...
No, it's fine. I mean, there's a lot of problems with this thing. We're all stressed out. I'm trying to make things easier right now. I'm trying to work with, people who are actively working on it. I'm trying to work with management. I'm trying to calm down the senior partners. So anything I can do to just improve the situation, which is already bad...
It's really bad. I mean, this is an engineering undertaking that we hadn't fully comprehended at the time that we started doing it. We just, we get orders and we execute, right?
This is the problem with long-term marketing ideas is, it's an ever-evolving market, and something with a 10-year end goal, we don't know what the market's going to look like at that time. But please, Paul, what is the issue with Project Stardeth that you have? What's your curiosity?
Well, I've been trying to figure out what it is. It's huge. It's not small. I'm often in it, and I'll be given my assignment for the day with a lot of blacked out words that I assume are confidential and for other eyes only.
Yeah.
And it'll just say something like, make the laser that blows up the planet. Make it. Yes. Make it. How do I tried to make it. I've been trying to make it since I started. And I managed to make a flashlight that will lighten up a room. I have a toaster that is hot. I can't kill a planet with it, and I don't know why I'm supposed to. I don't know why
You've not been liaising with the laser team. You've taken a team directive and you've tried to do it on your... That's not a project for one man. I mean, I admire your diligence, Paul. I admire that you tried. I mean, the fact you made a flashlight on your own is incredible. We could probably use that. There's several trash compactors in this project, and it gets dark in there. And for some reason, there's tentacles in there and stuff, and we got to get them cleared out. But you were assigned to head up Laser Team. Laser Team, or Team Laser as they like to be called, have been working on that for about 5 years now. It was kind of supposed to be the pièce de résistance of the whole project. They've got it functioning. It does about half a planet's worth of damage, but it, we really need to try and get that last bit of oomph in there so that it can do the whole thing. But you say you're not sure what Project Stardeth is.
I think I know what it is, but...
Okay. Well, this is a good test because, when we unveil... Well, when we were going to unveil it, we wanted the world to know. So let's see if we're on the right track. What do you think? What does it say to you? Paul Sincere, looking at this, at what we've been building, you look at it and what do you think?
Well, I have the utmost respect for you. and for Conrad.
Thank you.
And
So do
for
I.
the senior
No,
partner.
it's mutual.
I really... So I didn't want to say it because I thought it might sound insulting.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys are creative visionaries. I know you are geniuses in your own right. You would not come up with a redundant, unnecessary idea ever. Ever.
No, not at all.
But I wanted to know if we're building a Death Star.
Oh, you want to know if Project Stardeath,
Yes.
the thing we've been building in space with the planet destroying laser,
The moon-sized satellite, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
That can house thousands of troops and move anywhere throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, you want to know if that's a Death Star.
I mean, if it's not a Death Star, then can we forget that I asked if it's a Death Star? Because I don't want to be that guy who's asking that question and making everyone feel as though they're not as, so, I mean...
Can I just stop the discussion for a moment? Conrad, if you can give me a high five?
Yep.
We made a fucking Death Star.
Damn right we did.
Ooh.
It's too bad nobody's ever going to see it.
Yes.
Damn shame.
What? So, it is a Death Star. I was right about that?
Oh, yeah. Totally a Death Star.
It is a Death Star, and I'm proud of it, and I still think, I don't want to question the senior partners. I see where they're coming from. I still think having a moon-sized space station that can blow up a planet, or at this point half a planet, is still impressive enough on its own.
Yeah, I think that's something that we could point to and say, hey, look what we achieved.
Look what we, a humble marketing firm in Boston, was able to do without anybody even noticing it. I mean, building that behind the moon was clever as hell because it's the size of a moon, and ain't no one seen it. The man-hours it took to get that thing to move in time with the moon's rotation around the Earth so nobody would spot it. Like when they sent that rover up to Mars, the giant curtain we made with little white dots on it to cover it up so that NASA wouldn't find it. Like the engineering that went into that and the funding. I mean, we had to cash out our Taylor Swift account to just get this thing up there. I'm incredibly proud about this, and I'm incredibly heartbroken that the senior partners now are unhappy. Not that I'd question their wisdom and everything they stand for, because, like I said, I totally understand why did Abrams have to do it?
That's the tragedy of this. Like, we weren't that far away from getting it done.
Yep.
A few more years now that we've worked out the difficulties of building a structure this large in space, it was really going to come along. And I think within a couple of years, I would think that we would be to having a fully operational space station.
It would have put our names on the map in terms of, the who's who in the PR and marketing business.
Oh, sure. I mean, keeping something like that hidden all that time. Phew.
That's it. I mean, we'd have had the entire GOP coming to us to mask their sex scandals.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we'd make those things disappear.
Absolutely. Ted Cruz and the Moose? Forget about it. Who remembers the Moose? No one, because FistShark got it dealt with because we're the only people that can hide a Death Star. But it's not impressive anymore.
Yeah, it's not impressive anymore.
Oh, no.
J.J. Abrams just had to create a star killer base. Now it blows up whole solar systems.
I wouldn't be surprised if J.J. Abrams, still bitter about that time that I ate one of his wife's fingers, I thought it was an eclair. It was covered in chocolate. Still bitter about that. Knew somehow about Project Stardeath and decided to humiliate it in that film. The moment I saw them show a comparison shot between the Death Star, the FistShark Death Star, I'm convinced it was based on our model, and J.J. Abrams' Starkiller base, my heart ripped in two. It's so big.
It's enormous. It's absolutely enormous.
And he hasn't even built a real one. He drew it on a computer and made little models. The real one's about the size of a walnut. It's the size of a walnut, and he used a small camera to make it look really big.
And now the senior partners, they're not willing to fund just a little Death Star
Well, that's
anymore.
it. I mean, marketing's the name of the game, and Abrams outmarketed us in this situation.
He has definitely one-upped.
We show the world a Death Star, say, look what we built. They're like, cool.
Big deal. Who
cool.
cares?
Where's Starkiller Base?
It's just not fair.
Yep. Our job now is to find people who will make a planet, and that's contract work. We did the Death Star in-house. Now we're going to get contractors. We don't have a planet team. We had a moon-based team.
And that introduces a whole lot of other risks to the secrecy net. Like, we're going to have to kill so many contractors.
Oh, God, so many contractors. And word gets around in the contract business. I should know when I had my patio done. The amount of bodies that were buried, word gets around. I can't get anyone to do my windows now. I've got a conservatory that I'm going to have to bring in contractors from other countries.
You know, I have never seen a crowd of people at Home Depot move as quickly as they did when you pulled in. Like, they just scattered.
Sometimes I go in there, all I want is a wingnut. And I can't find a single worker in there. The place is a ghost town when I go in. And somehow we're expected to get, I mean, how many contractors does it take? I mean, considering construction, plumbing, terraforming, the creation of an entire ecosystem and a breathable atmosphere. I mean, how many contractors does that take? I mean, we're going to need at least 15, aren't we?
That's at a minimum, I would think.
At a minimum 15.
And then when you sort of figure out what the cost of shipping for materials to do this work on any of the other planets in the system, and we're talking about a pretty tremendous expense, I have to wonder if we might not just be better off trying to build another planet.
That's what I'm thinking. That's where I've been approaching this from. I mean, Mars is too far away. That's one issue.
Yeah, it's way too far.
You know, a Death Star behind our moon, that's pretty close. Like,
yeah,
you know, we take the FistShark shuttles up there. It's, you know, we're backing down in a week. Ideally, we need to build another planet next to planet Earth, and to keep it secret, like we did with the Death Star, we also need to hide it behind planet Earth so no one can find it because it's hidden behind Earth. Which is difficult because Earth's full of people. It's a logistics problem.
We basically have to convince an entire hemisphere of people to move to the other hemisphere.
Yeah, maybe a Danzig concert.
Put the Danzig concert on the hemisphere we want people to go to or away from?
Yeah, we put a Danzig concert on, you know, the Western or the Eastern hemisphere, then that gets one hemisphere clear because they all want to go see Danzig. Right, we'll do it in the desert so that everyone can come. And then we start building Starkiller. Now, how long does a Danzig concert last?
A couple hours.
Couple hours? If we can get them to do a couple of years, we can get maybe a planet done, to say nothing of digging, several hundreds of thousands of millions of miles of planet out after we've done it to put the base in. This is logistically difficult to do. The more I think about it. In the movie, it was just suddenly there.
I haven't seen the movie, so I do feel a little spoiled at this point, but I'm going to try to run with it for professionalism's sake. Is the thing in the movie, it is a planet, but it is also a Death Star? What is it? Is it shooty? Is it fun?
Oh, don't even get me started on the shooty. I mean, we're only at the stage where we can blow up half a planet. We've got to do entire systems with that thing.
Why? I mean, I'm just trying to keep up to speed. We were building a Death Star in order to show our marketing prowess, but it can blow up planets? It actually can blow up half a planet?
Well, I mean, if it doesn't do the job, it's just there for show.
Well, why would we need to blow up any planets in our solar system?
Well, we wouldn't blow up any planets in our solar system. We were going to unveil it, and then people would say, does it work? We'd say yes, they'd say prove it, and then we'd build a new planet, and we'd blow that up. Now we've got to build a planet and not blow it up. We've got to build a planet and put a Starkiller base in it. And what do we blow up? Conrad, what do we blow up when we make Starkiller base? We have to build a whole system after that.
Do we have to build a whole system, or could we just destroy another system?
Well, I mean, in order to be really impressive, we've got to build an entire system of planets, populate that with people, get them to form a republic. Then, you or I come out and scream about how the Republic are a bunch of bastards. Then we blow them all up. I mean, it'd be alright if we filled the system that we make with, like, pedophiles.
Yeah.
And just call it, like the Pedo Republic. And then bang, 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 blow them up. Then we look good.
Can we find enough pedos?
That's it. I mean, we need at least 5 planets worth of pedophiles. And I don't know how many we've got on this planet.
But it's not a planet's worth.
No, I mean,
that just doesn't seem feasible.
Can you populate a planet with like a couple of 100 pedos apiece? Is that enough to form a republic and a system of democracy across several planets?
I don't know.
I don't know how any of this works. I'm going to have to rewatch all of the Star Wars films to see if I know how they made it work. I might have to have... I mean, Abrams won't talk to me, but maybe we can get Lucas. I mean, he ain't doing much now. Maybe I'll phone him up and just say, look, how do I make a galactic ecosystem full of pedophiles that we can blow up to look good? Speaking of which, have you got any experience with making planets?
Could work. I mean, just, remember to have him killed.
Oh, obviously I'm going to have him killed. I mean, that's a given. I mean, I was planning that before this conversation.
Well, it's a good thing the opportunity came up before you executed your plan. Then,
well, yeah. I mean, I've got to speak to him now. That's going to be awkward because I've been sending him threats, a lot of threats, signed with a photo of me giving him a thumbs up.
Well, I hope he's willing to take the call. You want pedophiles though? I'm trying to parse out how I can help. I can hit the streets with signs.
Yeah, just ask how many of them are interested in living on a planet that isn't this planet.
I don't want to talk to them. Can I just hold up a sign that says pedophiles? Are you interested in living on a planet that isn't this planet?
Yeah. But yeah, people respond well to signs, as do pedophiles. That'd be good.
Well, I guess I'll hit the streets.
You hit the streets. You get started working on that. Hopefully we're not putting the cart before the horse there. I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of fucking perverts and not have a planet to put them on.
We could always just get Robo-Fagin and have him use his motley crew of ne'er-do-well children to carry signs throughout the city. And frankly, I would think that'd probably be even more effective for attracting pedophiles.
We get a whole bunch of Pied Pipers of pedophiles.
Yeah.
And lure them into a star system, which we then blow up with Starkiller base.
I gotta say, it's really an honor to work with people who are such competent, capable problem solvers.
Yeah, I think we've done it. I think we've worked this all out.
You guys, we can work this out, right? Like, this isn't going to be some thing that divides this conference room forever. Because
No. I mean, look. I'm willing to compromise, and I'm willing to do what I can to convince my client to see eye to eye with Paul's client. I mean, we're supposed to be working together on this. This is why we've got these two musical powerhouses working together to usher in a new age of social media.
I agree, but it just feels like there may be. This is very hard for me. I want to succeed. I want us all to succeed, but it's so hard for me to see a path towards that.
Well, we've got to move past the naming issue. I feel like everything else will fall into place if we can decide on a name. Here and now, like I say, we do not leave this office until we come up with a new name.
Okay, so here's what we've got here then. We have two music legends teaming up to produce a dating application.
Mm-hmm.
to address a somewhat specific, but I am assured very, very popular sexual proclivity. And that is, let's see if I'm reading this correctly, rubbing one's nose
yep.
in an anus or having an anus be rubbed by a nose.
Yes, it's very much the social media app for people who are interested in nose to anus / anus to nose connectivity in the modern era.
I see the success of things like Tinder and so forth, and I
recently
think...
we had Fett Life for the people who dress up as Boba Fett,
and that was a big success,
huge success. People got their helmets polished,
and now we're trying to move forward, and I want to move forward, but my client Ice Cube, he will not stand for any other name other than Icebreakers, because it's about breaking the ice. It's about breaking the crease of the ass with the nose, or it's about having your ass crease be nosed. It is about breaking that ice, and that's all it's about, is breaking that ice with your nose and your ass.
Here's the thing, Paul. I don't disagree. Icebreaker is a great name. It is a great name. But I think my client, Humpty Hump, has a potential winner as well. I mean, I can't choose between either one, but since Humpty Hump is my client, I've got to do my best to look after his interests, which is why I think Humpty Hump's social media app is also a good name.
That's a terrible name. What
How
happened
so?
to Humper? I thought you were going to get him on board with Humper.
I did promise I'd try and convince him that Humper was the way to go. Now, I don't disagree that Humper isn't the obvious choice.
Well, it fits his existing brand, is all I'm saying.
That's the issue. That's the issue right there. Humper is obvious. It's what you'd expect. Oh, Humpty Hump's got a social media app. Huh, what's it called? Humper? Yes, it is. That's not what Mr. Hump wants. He wanted something cleverer than that. And what's cleverer than something that isn't even a play on words, has no wit to it, isn't even catchy? That's Humpty Hump's whole ethos these days. In his mind, not catchy is the new catchy. So when people think Humpty Hump's social media app as a name for a product, they think, that's really clever, because I'd have thought you'd gone for Humper or something. I gotta check what this is about. It tells you it's a social media app.
I want to say yes, but I can't. I have to say no. It's Icebreaker or maybe Humpty Hump's social media app called Icebreaker. Maybe.
That seems a bit long-winded. I mean, Humpty Hump's social media app isn't catchy, but it's not. It is that very sort of Humpty style, not catchy enough to be catchy thing. Whereas Humpty Hump's social media app called Icebreaker is just not catchy. It's the difference between Anaconda, which is a movie that's so bad it's good, and Sophie's Choice, which is just a classically bad film.
Okay, so you're saying we can call it Sophie's Choice and Icebreaker, a way to meet other people who want to stick their nose in your ass. Is that where you're going with this?
That's actually longer. Like, did you notice what happened? That actually got longer.
That wound up longer. My worry is the more we compromise, the longer the name gets, until we've written the Bible.
Have we ever done that before?
Could we name a product that is the entire Old Testament as a name? It's never been done.
It certainly would be trademarked or copyrighted.
It would take a very long time to say that name out loud on Fox and Friends. That would be the entire episode.
It'd be pretty expensive to buy television advertising that was long enough to say the entire name of the
I mean, and I feel like people might be a bit upset if a commercial breaks in the middle of an Adult Swim show, and you could have fit like several thousand Adult Swim shows in the time it takes to say the name of the product. The more I'm thinking about this, the less in love I am with the entirety of the Old Testament from beginning to end as the name of a social media app. I'm not saying I'm not in hate with it, but I'm not in love with it, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think we may want to find a way to scale down.
Scale it down, break it down, chunk it up, and pick the best chunks until we've got a nice King James chunk. King James Chunk! How about that for a name? That's more of a breakfast cereal. I'm going to keep that in mind for the next time we speak with Nestle.
Well, if you just want chunks, maybe we could just say every third word to the King James Bible. That would cut the speed down by 3. And
that would cut it down by a third.
And if we say it fast enough, I mean, we could get the old Micro Machines guy to be our spokesman, to be our sexual spokesman.
That Micro Machines guy could talk fast.
Yes.
That's true. He could get through a lot of pages of Old Testament.
His nose fits in my anus. I know this.
How do you know this?
I feel this to be true. And I know what I feel.
Right. Going with your gut. No, I totally get it. I totally understand.
If I feel it, I know it.
Yeah.
So I want to do it. I want to get it.
You want to get that nose in the butt.
A little.
You want the nose deep in the butt.
A lot.
You want both nostrils crammed up that tight pooper.
And that's why we're doing this, isn't it? I mean,
Absolutely.
that's really the reason behind this whole project, to bring together noses and anuses.
Bringing the sniffers and the shitters into harmonious connection.
That's it. Can I run that by Ice Cube?
What's that?
Sniffers and shitters,
Holy shit.
a harmonious connection. That's the name. E-harmony. Except the E is sniffers and shitters.
And we can... That can be abbreviated to S&S for people on the go. Hey,
Hey, I sent you an SNS message.
I sent you an S&S. My nose is feeling a little clean today. So I might hop onto S&S and see if I can get dirty.
Oh, I think we've got this.
It.
This is perfect.
And also, your sense of smell is a sense. So you can go sense. This has so much, but this is... Paul, I think we've worked on a compromise that is quick, efficient, versatile. I think Humpty's going to go for this as well. I'm going to talk to Mr. Hump. I'll sell him on this. I will sell him on this.
Okay, I'm going to go get a donut. FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling, Conrad Zimmerman, and Paulson Sear. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alizar Chand. Our editor is Alan Smithy. Get more episodes and learn how to help support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, you've lived this 10 times or more. Goodbye.